Alright, guys, it's time. It's the upper bracket finals here in the TLMC tournament. Ragnarok in the top right, MAXPAX in the bottom left. And every second is going to matter as we start here on Blackrock, the Warcraft-themed map, courtesy of Avex. That's right, guys, there are grunts up here overlooking the battlefield, which is very cool. You do love to see it. But honestly, this map is really important, and the whole series, every second is important because the early game will decide the series. MAXPAX, a macro god, a beast who's very mechanical, very good at out-multitasking his opponent with gateway units, but also just really solid at going towards the late game. Shin, on the other hand, is a guy who thrives in the mid game and nowhere else. He cancels an Overlord there, I believe. Did he cancel the Overlord, guys? I think he must have canceled the Overlord when he saw that drone, that probe coming in. Notice he moved his Overlord out so that it would see the probe, cancels his Overlord, builds the hatchery, and denies MAXPAX's attempt to block his expansion. That's it crucial, because as I was trying to get to before everything already happened, is Shin needs to have a good early game. He's not good in late game. He very rarely plays muters. He very rarely plays lurkers. And even those like later mid-game / early late game tech swaps, that he's not that good. Like, he's a Roach Hydra man. He's a Hydra Bane man. He's a I will smash you in the mid-game, and that means you need a good start. So for Shin, the secret is don't get your hatchery blocked. Guess when he's going to send his probe across and get your hatchery down earlier. It's going to be send Zerglings to cancel his third, pin his Oracles at home defensively, while completely skipping Spores at home. It's cutting corners on the defense and using your offense to force over responses. He can't let MAXPAX play a completely stable and standard game, or MAXPAX simply will beat him in late game. And I just don't see Shin taking a map off MAXPAX. If they're in a stable 5 base versus, even if the Zerg's on 7, Protoss is on 5 bases, they've got the late game tech trees up, I don't really see Shin's chances, and I know he's playing on his Ragnarok account, as you can see here. His chances will be dripping out of the hourglass. So for Shin, doesn't have a lot of super early game cheese either. It's kind of that 5 to maybe 6 to 9 minutes, 5 to 9 minutes. That's where he's going to do his best work, and kind of has to do his best work. So we'll see what he can do. MAXPAX in the bottom side playing stock standard. It is, of course, a 1-gate expand. Probe did try to harass as much as possible, and we are going to be seeing the players just getting set up for that next stage. He's going to pull off at 88 gas usually. You can start pulling off it now. He's actually leaving on gas. Ooh, is this on purpose, or is he just delayed it a little bit? Link speed's not started. Oh, lair before link speed. Lair before link speed, I think. Maybe? No, link speed starts. Oh, he just pulls off gas a little late. A little sloppy there for Shin. I do like the early creep tumor on the natural. Shin's a big fan of the European style normally, where you get a really quick third queen, but this time he's not doing it. He's going third hatchery. Ah, okay, this is fascinating. Normally you go third queen before third hatchery with the EU style, but I think because he knows MAXPAX is so defensive and the Adept's not being chronoed, it's just chilling, he's going to be doing it this way. The Overlord does have a lot of pillar to hide on, but if the Oracle comes over and spots it, the Stalker can gun you down. So yeah, you want to kind of be close to this area where you can get above this waterfall on the bottom side where the Stalker cannot reach. There we go. Oh, guys, we've got a very important update from the live chat. Hi, guys, I just won a game. I'm in your clan, Pig. Taste the bacon. My opponent called me a bitch, and they asked me to inform the bacon father that he is also a bitch. So here I am, Pig. You're a bitch. Okay, thank you, dude. I appreciate you passing on the message. Shout out to your opponent. I assume you hammered them, and that's why they're salty. So well done, dude. Very well done. Overlord does hide down here over the waterfall. I do like when people send me messages after losing to people in our clan. It's nice. Thank you. This is the Salt Postal Service. Oracle's coming forward. Not many Zerglings being committed to. You can see there's funny little sight blockers on this map as well. Oracle pivots left. Goes towards the third. Maybe try and catch a drone popping out there. Mains are well positioned. Spores come up just in time. One in the main's being done for a little bit. Now the one in the natural as well. You can see the way MAXPAX is so smooth at moving the Oracles around. Gets himself a drone. It's not a crazy amount of profit. You might be like, one drone, well, this is no damage. But you gotta realize he's not been committing to his aggression. There's no 2 Adepts. Oh, good queen move. Sends 2 queens over while the other 2 come from the other side. Gets the Oracle deep in the red. I mean, great defense for Shin, but look at the work account for MAXPAX. Nonetheless, he was ahead on workers until just now. Shin finally takes the lead as the Twilight Council finishes. The Forge goes down. That's a quick Twilight Council, but with the early Forge, I'm sure it's for Blink. You would have think maybe Glaive Adepts, but I think he just wants to get these Blink Stalkers out on the map. And he wants to keep Shin in a very hard position. Lair and Roach Warren go down. Shin's a big fan of Roach Hydra. The problem with going Roach Hydra is there's always a moment against early Blink where you don't have Roach speed, you don't have Hydra upgrades, and the Stalkers and Oracles can pick off a lot of units. So far, I was saying Shin needs to kind of get leads early, or at least have an even, at least, but preferably favorable early game. Well, there we go. One Oracle deep in the red, one dead. That'll do it. That will absolutely do it. Now, 300 more resources have to go into another Oracle. The Overlord comes in and sees the Forge as well. It did die to the Stalker, but he sees the Forge, so he knows it's not that big of a commitment. The Adepts are going to sacrifice themselves for just 2 drones. Beautiful cleanup. MAXPAX. He's not finding the value he was looking for. It's Shin who's all over this early game now, despite it being so passive, which I actually thought might favor MAXPAX. Shin's now in control. He's got quite a lot of lings. He sees that it's a Blink Stalker commitment. He confirms this is not Zealot Archon, and a Hydra Den will go down immediately. Now, my question is, does he go Hydraling Bane, or does he play Roach Hydra? Because we don't see Roach speed just yet, but of course he's gas-starved. He's trying to get 6 gases up, and he's on 60 workers against the 60 of Protoss. But Protoss is going to start running forwards. There is a battery on the 3rd. 8 Stalkers in total on the map. 7 of them here, 1 in the natural wall off. 2 Oracles on the front starting to play stasis traps. Lots of Zerglings being built, but 64 workers is good. And where are these Lings, guys? Looks like the Lings go for the counterattack. Get himself a nice little wraparound on the Adepts with the 2 Zealots warping in, and the battery is going to try and pull back. 4th base, always a point of contention here. You can see the Lings are trying to set off the stasis traps, guys. And he does set off one of them. He doesn't see the other one, though. This stasis trap in the grass could have been massive. Really lucky that Shin moved north there. That was really lucky. He's got to try and buy time for the Hydras. Guru Spines and +1 are on the way. Shin with a good early game so far. Storm and 6 gases are on the way, though, behind this. The 6 gases mining, the Storm on the way. 6 more gateways building. That's going to be 10 gate on 3 base. That's a very big gateway count. MAXPAX's 4th base, of course, is quite delayed, but there's no way for Shin to safely drone this 4th. He builds 3 more workers. It's a bit risky. He adds Roach speed as well. I've been talking about Shin being far too predictable with Roach Hydra all-ins recently, and looks like he's going to stick to what he knows, but with such a good worker advantage. Actually, dude, he squeezed a big round of drones out. He's got 74 workers now. If the Lings could deny this base as well just before this Protoss army comes home, it's the narrowest margin. But if he clicks that, which he should... Oh, Shin's not watching. Shin not watching. He may have just given up the opportunity. That's unfortunate. If he reacted a little faster, could have cancelled that and got out. At least he does get the Zerglings away. Overlord speed's on the way. He'd like to go drop maybe the main base on this left side, which could be very effective. Do we see the Overlords moving over? Yeah, you can see the Overlords are already moving down this left side, getting set up for a future drop. But Storm is here. 4 High Templar available. Archon, Zealots, Cannons, and stasis traps all starting to go down. The supply count dangerously close between the 2 sides as more cannons and batteries are placed. It's going to be very hard to break through. This looks like it should be a hold for MAXPAX, but it all comes down to how well these storms land, how well Shin dodges them, and if Shin can maybe like catch the Stalkers away from the High Templar, or get in here and deny this base, and then when he's out of position, drop the main. Something like that could be big. MAXPAX sees the 4th. Sees no gas mining on this side, which could be a tell of aggression. He also sees a bit of Roach Hydra coming forwards. I mean, he's doing nothing but massing Immortals, High Templar, Cannons, and batteries right now. There are 6 High Templar on the map. Gonna energy recharge yet another one. Only 1 Storm on the left side. Most of his army's on this right side. Good army split. A lot of players make the mistake of not splitting their army early enough, and look at this Doom drop. It's all about the Doom drop, guys. Recall energy is available in the main, but 4 of these gateways could get depowered very quickly, which would bring him down to just 6 gateway production. And I think it's all about this drop. MAXPAX so worried about where the attack's coming from the front. He was not expecting the backdoor assault. Here we go! Unload, boys, onto the beach! And they are going to go there. High Templar, though, are coming back at the same time. A big attack on the front. Storm's going down on all sides. You can see the Hydras. A few of them did move out of the Storm here. The Zealots, though, going absolutely ham. He's going to try and save what Hydras he can. Storm, so excellent of a spell. And, of course, you've got to wear down the Storms and then catch him when there's no Storms. Right now, there's 1 Storm in here. Second one's 12 seconds away from regenerating. Roaches in the mineral line are stuck behind each other. Shin needs to move those in at the same time. He drops the low ground, but the Stalkers are there. As he tries to redrop the main, he quickly steers away from that. There is 1 new Psy Storm. It's just ticked over. Another one's arriving. There's 2 Psy Storms here. The Roach Hydra has a big arc. That Nexus is taking big damage, though. The cannon will go down soon as well. If he's not careful, cannon does go down. Storm on the Hydras, not bad at all. But of course, Shin, he's still rallying Roach Hydra with +1, +2s on the way as well. The Immortals are just so damn efficient. 1,000 resources lost advantage. 12 probes go down. That's not enough damage. The trick here is you've got to keep the High Templar count low. If you give him a minute, he'll make 6 High Templar, and then they'll all have Storms, and suddenly you're dead as Shin. Shin needs to keep fighting, but at the same time, he has no transition behind it. He's barely ahead in workers. Yes, he has a 5th base coming up. He's got to find the damage. Most of the High Templar morph into Archons. That's the last Storm available for a while. It's only Immortal Archon, and it's a beautiful Hydra angle. I actually like this fight for Shin, but so many Zealots. So many Zealots! Oh my gosh, this is always the problem. Yes, he kills the 4th. That's not enough. He needs to kill the army. It's always about killing the army, not the economy when it comes to ZVP. You've got to get their army low. Otherwise, Storm scales too well in big fights. You need the fights to be small and scrappy. Eats a lot of his own Storm damage just in the final tick there, does MAXPAX. Another Immortal goes down. Shin keeping this incredibly dicey, and Archon, chased all the way into the rally, does get shot down. And I think Shin is very wise to regroup. He's going to add Carapace, a few more drones, and it looks like he might transition a late game. I think he might have to. He might have to, man. Like, he's finding some decent engagements. I'd love to see him go with a single Overlord and drop Hydras either here or here on the right side. And then another one come in from this side and just try to drop a few Hydras here. Maybe send one into the main, but there's so many cannons everywhere. It's like, you need a lot of APM to make sure your units aren't just derping. A couple Roaches and Zerglings going down, but it's a lot of Zealots, and they will get caught by this Roach Hydra. +2 attack on those Zealots. They do a lot of damage, man. Definitely do a lot of damage. Zealot's going to go in, try and find more damage. You can see he's pulled off his gas a little bit, has Shin, realizing minerals is everything. So he's actually only on, what, 6 gases. Infestation finally goes down. He's going to go for a drop into the main again. Stalkers are ready for it. Oh, he knows it's coming. It's a pure Zergling drop. You can lose them. Zerglings are cheap. It's not the end of the world. Massive army on the right side. Look at the Storms and the stasis, though. I think Shin's army's hitting a brick wall. Infestation pit's too far away. He's got a trade. I just don't know how he finds anything that's not an awful trade. Like, how do you find damage on this? He's going to drop the Lings on top. Storms will easily defend that with the Oracle helping out overhead. Storms owning this army as well. The Immortal count grows. The cannons are getting value. This is just a nasty spot to find yourself in as a Zerg. You're finding little bits of value, but your army just does not tech well. And keep in mind, the Protoss tech, it just hits harder and faster. The bigger the battles get, the more the Protoss units scale at a rate which the Zerg units can't keep up with until you get to Lurkers, Broods, and that sort of stuff. And even then, it turns into a bit of a stalemate where the Mothership and the Tempest do tend to win out in the long run. Hive's just now started. Fleet Beacon is already finished, but he's finding good value on the Archon Immortal. There's not enough Storm in here, and Shin just doggedly microing, dodging all the Storms, baiting them out, and finding these openings. The rest of the army is kind of out in the middle. MAXPAX is F2ing right now, trying to chase this away as his 4th base goes down again. I don't know how Shin is trading this evenly in this game. He's just great positioning, great tactics. And this chase here for MAXPAX is a silly move. He throws away the Oracles, the Immortals getting jumped on. The High Templar are going to come in for the support, but all the Immortals are going to go down. And, oh, I mean, he will kill every Hydra. The Hydras do at least clear all the Immortals. I don't know, is that worth it for MAXPAX, though? Throws away all of his valuable units, and now Shin has to run home and gather his forces, but he killed so many important Protoss units. Remember what I was saying? The goal here as Zerg is not to kill the economy, it's to go after the economy, to force the Protoss to split their army up and get in positions where you can kind of surround their army. Killing the army is the goal. Keeping the Protoss army small is the goal in ZVP, especially in the mid-game. And he's achieved that now, right? It's only 54 army supply. 5 High Templar are god-tier units when they've got 4 Immortals and 4 Archons in front of them. There's 1 Immortal and 1 Archon right now. MAXPAX needs to rest up, lick his wounds. His 4th base is only just now coming back up, and the income definitely way ahead with the second snipe of that 4th base. This is very good play by Shin. He's dancing in the mid-game in a situation where Zerg is meant to still be miles behind. And in fact, his Hive Tech, he's literally making Frenzy, the nanomuscular swell, for the Hydras and nothing else. He's just like, no, I'm just going to keep playing Roach Hydra, bro. I would love some Vipers. I think a Viper or 2, but he doesn't have the gas. He could go Lurkaden, of course, is the other thing. Also very gas-heavy, though. And he feels like if he takes the time to get the gas, it'll give Protoss time to max on their army. These Zealots are doing so much, though, because they're distracting. Shin should be setting up a surround right now. Should be dropping again. Should be coming in on this base. He should be trying to dart through the middle and get into the natural expansion. Mama's now here. Yes, the supply advantage is massive, but you want to be fighting right now. Every second that goes by gives time for MAXPAX to catch up, and Shin attacking all from one side Not really optimal there. Oh, good storm comes in. Some of the Roach Hydra just walks right through it, though. Focuses those High Templar down, and this gives him room to pull back, because now the storms are going to land here. You can pull out of those, kill the Nexus, kill 7 Prods. That's a good trade. It's a very good trade here. Just not enough defense on the left side. MAXPAX going to have to rebuild his 3rd base. It's far from over, though, because Zerg does not have late-game tech. There's no Spire, no Corruptors to deal with the Tempests and the Mothership. No Lurkers to deal with the ground army. It's just Roach Hydra, a few more drones, taking another hatchery. The progression for Shin is lacking. And I think if this Prism drop and these Zealots can distract him for a bit, this could be a real issue. These Spines will help buy a bit of time, but look at that. He spots the drop going to the main. He's got to split a few Roaches and Hydras there. Queen's going after that War Prism. Shutting down the Prism would be everything here. The Hydras do swell after it. They take it out. Losing a Queen or 2 for the Zealot drop is absolutely okay. Same time, one Spine Crawler goes down, the Roach Hydra cleans that up. This buys time for MAXPAX, though. If MAXPAX can get out enough Storm, Time Warp, you're maxed and you're not trading right now with Shin. You need to be trading yesterday, and yet his army is wasting time while MAXPAX supply is catching up. This is what I'm saying is Shin's got a great position supply-wise, but it's trash supply. He could still win this game, but the margin is narrow. The window is closing. He has to go, and he has to go now. That first Storm, not really doing much. Second Storm buys a bit of time. He's going to chase with this High Templar through his own Storm. Got to be very wary in these situations. See the army splitting up. The Immortal count is only 1. Only 1 Immortal. Few more Immortals would make dealing with these Roaches much easier. Cannon's getting focused as big. Shin's so patient. Dude, Shin just has belief in Roach Hydra's ability to buy time and hang on, doesn't he? A lot of players wouldn't believe in it this deep in the game. But Shin, even though he senses urgency and needs to trade, he's never just headbutting. He's always picking away. Oh, he's got to get out of that Time Warp Storm. And he does pull away, picks off a few Archons. 2 Archons went down there. Nexus goes down on this side. And these are the trades. He's not just headbutting in. He's picking away at the fringes and letting MAXPAX expose a few units, picking them off, pulling back, picking them off, pulling back, picking them off, pulling back. Excellent play here by Shin. Gets another Archon, another High Templar. Still baiting more Storms down the south as well. The Tempests there, though, aren't shipping at him. Units lost time still within 1,000 resources of each other. That is crazy. Shin is outplaying MAXPAX with Roach Hydra and a Dream. He's got +3 attack, +1 armor. Spy is now coming in. He does have the Lurker Den, but notice he's not prioritizing upgrades. He's prioritizing remaxing on Roach Hydra, getting ready for his next 2-pronged attack, rather than adding those upgrades. It's another Storm here. Another army coming in on the left as well. MAXPAX mining is suffering. He's just not being able to get out on this map to expand to new bases, and you can see how he's spread out bases. The way Shin is committing to them is finding good trades, and gets yet another Nexus cancel on that 3rd base, where there's a lot of gas left to be mined, even though the minerals are running low. This Nexus just gets clicked on! Beautiful move for Shin. Shin's like, dude, I could throw away Roach Hydra all day. I could do this all day. I could dance all day. FPS Shin runs in, knife in hand, running far faster than MAXPAX expected him. He's found some sort of exploit where the Roach Hydra have pulled out their knife at some sort of rare skin that kids for some reason value at thousands of dollars while gambling them. And he's sprinting across this map with Roach Hydra from all sides. He is beating MAXPAX down in a situation where MAXPAX has the correct tech to beat him. And yet Shin is finding better engagements and overwhelming with micro, with movement, with mobility. And that is very inspiring. Very few Zerg players would have had the patience and the methodical microing in multiple areas, hitting the drops in the main, microing on 2 sides on the fronts. Most players at some point are just going to eat no Mega Storm, or they're going to try to jump on top because they feel the sand slipping out of the hourglass. Shin kind of walked along this tightrope of keeping the pressure up, continuing to trade, without constantly headbutting and overextending like most Zerg players will do in that situation. That being said, I think maybe part of it's like, you know, MAXPAX hasn't really defended those base locations. I think the drop in the main was really crucial. Didn't do a lot of damage, but it kept a lot of MAXPAX's APM and resources tied up there. And then he was just really good at setting up those arcs and taking advantage of the lack of long-ranged units. One of the big things you'll notice in a lot of these fights is essentially Roaches only have 4 range, Hydras have 6. It's not a very long-range army. Blink Stalkers can pick at that at the same range, and Mortals and Stalkers have 6 range. Archon's only 3 range, and Zealots are melee. And essentially, one of the things we've noticed is even though these Storms are much bigger and they last forever, they also have less cast range than the old Storm. So number 1, the High Templar can't storm you from as far away. Number 2, the Zealots and the Archons are going to naturally be chasing through the Storms and eating a lot more of their own Storm damage. And because there's no real Blink Stalker commitment, MAXPAX was trying to make them more efficient units in like a pitched battle. And he didn't have double Robo Immortal or anything like this. I think if he has like 4 Immortals on the front line, so every time you engage, they're like one-shotting multiple roaches, and then the storm lands and you pull out, you're getting taxed. But often what's happening is he's running in, and the Immortals aren't getting many shots off. Often there's no Immortals or only one on one side, and the Roach Hydra is actually the ranged army kiting the Zealot Archon and avoiding most of the storm damage themselves. It's actually really well done. You don't often see Roach Hydra massively outrange a Protoss and kite them to death when they've got a lot of Immortal Storm up, but he actually did this really well. It's a rare treat. Nice game one. All right, guys, MAXPAX got to be a little frustrated after that last game. He's in the bottom right here for Sidestorm. He's going to go for the Normie expansion pattern on Lumen, a map which I think pro players really struggle to play this map optimally. SHIN, I trust as a player who understands, though, that the correct build is to take the gold. There's a worker-only path here. You can mine these 2 mineral patches that both have 80 minerals. Once they're open, you can freely move regular units down here. So that does take 16 trips to mine one of these patches open, guys. It does take a while, but you get 4 gold minerals, and then you can expand over here, and there's another 3 gold minerals. And if you then want to do like a Queen Walk, Roach Ravager, Ling Shove, and the Protoss is expanded in a straight line, their 3rd is right next to your 3rd, which is actually amazing for very aggressive strats. I like the way Shin's playing this map. MAXPAX, I'm not surprised that he doesn't take this base, because MAXPAX very rarely uses new map features. I'd kind of describe these two as Shin's always looking for little tricks, ways to get ahead, ways he can utilize architecture on the map, different strategies to catch his opponent off guard. MAXPAX looks for, when a new patch or new maps come out, how can he play the exact same style and still make it work? Which is why MAXPAX usually, I'm shocked he's in the upper bracket finals, because normally he does very badly on new balance patches. But I guess I haven't really studied his performance in TLMC tournaments in the past. Like, I always think of Hero as the guy that normally crushes these tournaments, even though he's out of this one so far. I guess if you change balance, it's a bit bigger for MAXPAX, right? Like, after Energy Recharge, it took MAXPAX, I think, 6 months or more before he used his first Energy Recharge to hallucinate. He just kept doing the exact same build, and then would occasionally Energy Recharge late game if he happened to have a Sentry or a High Templar around. Drones are going to transfer straight to the gold base. I love it. I love it. How many drones is that, guys? He's going to go straight for 7 drones, put them all on the gold side of the minerals. Really nice move. Guys, thank you very much, Toll. Don't forget to bring a toll for the subs there. I appreciate you so much. Those watching live, I'm going to give you a massive shout out and my own bacon slap after this game. Appreciate you, mate. Link speed coming in. Adept getting chronoed. Oh, he's actually going to chrono Adepts to try and pressure the gold base. Okay, so MAXPAX sees the gold base, says, no way am I letting you get away with that. I'm going to try and pressure it. But I think the Overlord didn't see it, actually. The Overlord did not see it. He now sees the second chrono, and you got to start pumping Lings, my buddy. 4 Lings start. 3rd hatchery gets down before the Adept can block it. I do love Shin's expansion pattern, but he's got to get these Lings out. Luckily, Lings build in just 17 seconds. Not much time for MAXPAX to find damage. Queen will track the shade. These minerals in the middle have actually not been mined open just yet, guys. He's not really prioritized that. So the Lings that pop in the main will have to run the long way around to help it out. Second Adept is arriving. 3rd Queen is not here. This could be a fair amount of damage from these 2 Adepts. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, it's fine. Gets a bit of damage on the Adept. Problem is these minerals aren't open. And that's a big mistake for Shin. He should have microed those minerals. He could have put 2 workers on those. They'd be mined out by now. It's a big mistake. He's going to lose 2 drones for it, it looks like. Oh, just 1. Okay, just 1 drone. Could be worse. Link speed's almost done as well. So you know what? He gets by just fine. And he's got 3 bases up. 2 of them with gold minerals. Yeah, there's an Oracle coming out. There's a Twilight going down. That's a Glaive Adept. So he's going to do Oracle into Glaive Adept. This is going to be really interesting because I think for Shin, naturally with a gold-based build, you're going to be going to early Roach Aggression. If he's planning Roach Aggression off like 45 workers, I think Shin kind of hard counters the 4-gate Glaives that's going to come in for MAXPAX. I would love to see him crush him with the usage of these expansions. I think Protoss can take the expansions just fine as well, guys. Oracles are very good. Might even favor Protoss, who knows? Like, I've loved playing this map when I play as Protoss, but MAXPAX trying to play conservative puts himself in a position where now he feels pressure to do damage. Lings are going to come in, fight from both sides. Maybe not the most efficient, but he's still got 2 Lings attacking, and that ends up being more than efficient enough for what he needs. The Queens are derping a bit as the Oracle does fly away. Still no Roach Horn or Bane Nest. That's a problem. Glaive Adepts has started, guys. Glaive Adepts has started. If you don't have what you need, that's a problem. Oracle does get a few hits. Oracle gets one drone, but it does take a bunch of hits from the Spore Crawler. And Shin's going to come in and see a Chrono Twilight Council. The Oracle and the Stalker maybe tell you one story, but these gateways are pretty damn fast, man. And I think he should be realizing what's up. Yet I don't see a Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest, which tells us Shin does not know. And Shin may just die to Glaive Adepts this game. He starts a Baneling Nest now. It's very late. Almost 5 minutes. MAXPAX is really trying to sell a story of a macro game. Rallying probes to the third, hiding Adepts here. He's got to start warping in more Adepts though, or he's going to struggle to actually do damage. Lots of Zerglings are building. 22 are out. There's going to be 30-something Zerglings soon. These drones though, ooh, a bit exposed. And 4 drones do go down to that drive-by. It looks to me like Shin wants to do a big Ling Bane attack. And if he can get Banelings up just before these Adepts get in, he'll be big. But Baneling Nest is about 20-30 seconds late here. So he's going to have to just go for a giant Ling surround. Admittedly, there's only 10 Adepts. There's enough Lings to just surround this and kill it, maybe. Yeah. Shin has so many Zerglings, he might be able to just fight it. Good transfuses coming down, guys. Good transfuses. There's no Banelings here. Oh, this is a problem, man. It's a real problem right now for Shin. His queens are starting to fall, man. He does finally set off the stasis trap, but you can see here the mineral line's exposed. One queen goes down, another queen taking some damage. The Adepts are going to commit into the Banelings! Oh, he did morph Banelings! MAXPAX! Oh no! He was getting really nice value, doesn't see the Banelings, commits to the shade, runs into 6-7 Banelings just waiting for it. Oh, absolutely annihilated. And now Shin has full map control. He's droning, he's going Hydras, he's going Evo Chamber. Felt like it was getting nasty. Like it was like, okay, you're only losing queens. Your queens are at least buying time. You're not losing a lot of drones, but like it's about to get bad if you don't do something about it. And then the Banelings clean it up, and he's got a 4th base on the left. He's got his gold minerals mining, largely unmolested. And that's what you want, guys. In your economy, you want your economy to be unmolested. A non-molested economy is a good economy. That's what the famous StarCraft economist, Liquid Rat, said back in the day. Oracle Adept in the north. Ooh! Oracle's going to find even more. Another 2 drones going down. That backside of the gold mineral line has been a weak spot for that. The Spore may be just slightly too far forward. Wouldn't mind this Spore being 1 space higher. High Templar trying to morph in, so it's going to be... Is it Zealot Archon it looks like, eh? Yeah, Zealot Archon against Hydraling Bane. Well, Banelings counter Zealots, Hydras counter Archons. So you desperately need Psystorm. And MAXPAX does now start it, but I think he maybe kind of wishes he'd already made the High Templar. He's going to try and expand up here to the top right. That also means his main base could be wide open to drops. So he's going to be covering such a wide front. Shin going Hydra Bane here. I thought with this forward gold, he'd automatically go for a Roach Queen push. Just makes sense, like, positionally. Gets a nice deny on this 4th. These Lings need to run away, though. Zealot Archon very good at clearing Zerglings, even though they don't have +1 just yet. +1 range is getting close to done. Second Hydra upgrade and Bane speed are both coming in. When those upgrades finish, that's your timing. So about a minute from now, somewhere around probably 9 minutes, you're going to see a very scary Zerg army come in. Hydras and drones can fight this. A couple drones go down. Well, it's 4 Adepts. They kill 3 drones, maybe 1 Hydra. 4 drones, 1 Hydra. It's acceptable losses there for Shin. A few more Adepts coming in the left side as well. Good harassment. MAXPAX is being a nuisance, and there's no one there to defend. This is very annoying, but actually MAXPAX cancels it. So he's not sure. Now's the right time. Zealots running around the left. Hard to get Banes into the Zealots when they're attacking you from 3 different places, isn't it? Really clever play here by MAXPAX. Is it going to be enough, though? The Adepts run in the left side. They get surrounded by Zerglings. These guys do take big damage. The Archon Zealot trying to kite on the front. MAXPAX trying to find value in the multitasking, trying to get mistakes out of Shin, but Shin cleans up. And look at this. He's got Banelings coming in from the left side. The Zealots warp in there. No match for that. Banelings can't blow that Stalker up. Not with the shield battery there. So this will not be working. Stalkers, of course, not light units. So a bit of a wasted Baneling boom, but you're on 4 base against 3. You're going to make sure you keep it that way with the Hydra Bane in the north, denying this 4th Nexus. Stasis traps are there. High Templar coming forward, looking for some big juicy storms, but they're incredibly exposed on the front line. The Banelings, of course, go for the connection. They do take out 2 High Templar, which is super duper worth it. And I think for Ragnarok, it's all about Shin. I keep calling him Ragnarok just because he's playing on this account. But for those who don't know, you guys get a free name change every month. You can literally just click on your profile in the top right when you're logged into Battle.net. There's a little button. You can just go change your name. It's change it, logs you out, logs you back in again. Every season you get a new name change. If you're a pro gamer and you've chose to change your name from Ragnarok to SHIN, you should probably play on an account called SHIN. Nice storms, but are they going to be enough? I don't really think so. It's almost pure Zealot Archon now. He's got one more storm with the energy recharge. SHIN, though, showing supreme patience. He knows he needs enough Banelings to clear the Zealots. He's got 26 Hydras, which is a massive count. And he's just kind of playing the I will exhaust your storms game. Very, very chill. Pretty sure they set that so that they like wouldn't have to bother with it ever again, guys. But yeah, you can just change your name every season. Pretty sure it just auto-renews. Definitely, I've changed quite a few account names since SHIN changed name to SHIN. Hydra's gonna look for the new 4th on the gold base. It's gonna be an easy cancel. Not enough Zealots here to defend this, man. It's been such a good opening for SHIN, really utilizing the architecture of the map, and it does kind of look like a classic MAXPAX SHIN series, doesn't it? SHIN's utilizing clever features of the map, being a bit tricksy. MAXPAX is just trying to play stock standard. But I think the gold-based momentum forced MAXPAX to be a little bit more aggressive, and SHIN just defended it very well. Alright, Banes do pretty well against these Zealots. There's a Spine on this base as well. I think Bane Hydra Queen going to do quite well. These Zealot run-bys just aren't finding value, and stuck on 3 base, you got to feel here that he just can't find an opening. Hydras are coming in from that side, and look at the way he baits the storms. So High Templar's cast range on storms, something that SHIN is such an expert of taking advantage of. Ooh, this could be big. Banelings mostly avoiding the Psy Storm for now. He's coming in from the bottom as well. He does eat a big storm down there. Sorry guys, hard to keep track of everything at once. Banelings trying to get on those probes. Another stasis trap comes in. Banelings do connect with the probes. The Nexus is getting hammered. The gases are going down. The Hydra Ling find those probes. The Archons are effectively surrounded by Hydras at this point. The Ling Hydra comes in from all sides. MAXPAX, desperate carrier mothership transition, doesn't quite get there. And SHIN is going to take a 2-0 lead off of a gold expand on Lumen. So guys, the Banelings just finished morphing back there, and he hides them. Hides him to the last second. If MAXPAX was looking right then, he could have reacted, but he had very little time. The way SHIN hid the Banelings until the last second, really nicely done. And that there is a shutdown. Very well played by SHIN. The Banelings were beautiful. All right, guys, next game. SHIN goes for an extractor trick at the very start. Overlord begins. As Overlord is in front of the base. He wants to see this probe, but MAXPAX is coming in here insanely early. MAXPAX is like, look, I need to block your expansion. And honestly, the drone's just not going to be there early enough. Even if he canceled the Overlord. Nah, he messed it up. SHIN messed it up. Oh, he gets it. He gets it. Never mind. Never mind. I'm a hater. Small detail, guys. I don't think SHIN moved the drone into the middle before placing it. which I know I talk about this a bit. If you're in a situation like that, make sure your drone moves and you only place the hatchery as he's in position where he needs to be in the middle. Otherwise, he'll decelerate and actually build the hatchery slightly slower. Really important if you're ever in a race like that, but beautiful play by SHIN, who now drones up to 18 and is going to go for the pool into gas right afterwards. So you still get the spawning pool at a good timing. A minute 11, your hatchery's up really early, and MAXPAX has also got 5 minerals in his hand, so he can't harass as effectively because he can't deny the mineral patch. This is a great start for SHIN. It just shows MAXPAX, I think he's very reliant on disrupting the Protoss opening. I think his win rate when he can block the hatchery skyrockets, and I think he knows this. SHIN, I said the first 5 minutes of every game is going to be crucial. If he doesn't have a first good 5 minutes, the problem is there's not a lot of question marks. Is he going to play Mutas? Very unlikely. Is he going to play Lurkers? Very unlikely. What scary Hive Tech or late game is there to worry about? Almost none. SHIN does Roach Hydra all-ins. He does Hydra Bane all-ins. Hopefully he can mix in like something earlier, like an early Queen Walk or German Taxi. You know, you drop 4 Queens, bust in with Ravagerling. The problem for SHIN has always been, especially in a longer series, the lack of range. So he needs good starts so that that limited range is actually frightening. If you're a little behind going into the mid game as SHIN, it's very easy for MAXPAX to just be safe against that limited range of options that he knows you have and shut you down from there. So it's all about the early game for SHIN unless he shows us flexibility that he has not really shown up to this point. We'll see what happens. Pig, what's up with the shadows? Looks like the units are floating a little bit. Yeah, the lighting on a lot of these TLMC maps and certain features aren't finished. This was also played a few weeks ago. A lot of these maps have already been updated by map makers to look a bit differently. I think maybe it's just where the lighting's placed, but normally the workers are floating. I don't know, this doesn't look that unusual to me. Maybe it's just the shadows look a little bit different to normal on this map because it's in a different direction where the light source is coming. I don't know. This map's actually not bad, Eternity's Edge. There are some maps with some weird lighting issues, and like the rain on Rainfall looks a bit weird. The map on, we cast X-Arch earlier today in the Clem versus Classic series, and Avex was in chat saying, this is not my modern version of this map, just so everyone knows. I've updated a lot of it. It's actually quite different now, but obviously this tournament was played a couple weeks ago. The replays have just dropped recently, and they do take a while to update a lot of the TLMC maps, but the thing that makes it onto ladder is usually very similar, but there's important details that shift, and usually a little bit of refinement with like lighting or performance or this or that as the map makers improve during that QA process. Third Nexus does go up. Keep in mind, these are volunteers as well. So I call it a QA process, but it's like a volunteer guerrilla map maker QA process, not funded by Blizzard or anything like that. Spore Crawler's going down very early. It's a very conservative build. Surrounds the Adepts, forces the Oracle to start wasting energy early, which does give you value. Not a crazy amount, but it gives you value. Like if he Revelates now, he doesn't have the energy to turn on his laser. Not for a while. Twilight Council does go down nice and early in that main, but does look like Blink or Charge. Very unlikely to be Glaive Adepts for MAXPAX 2 games in a row, especially when it didn't work in the previous game. Oh, Overlord comes forward. When I say Overlord, I mean the Protoss Overlord, the Oracle. Gets only one drone though, takes quite a few hits. Yeah, Shin's purely defensive setup is looking so crisp, guys. So crisp. He just replaces the creep there instantly. I mean, he's up 6 workers. He's building a safety roach horn at 440. This is sick play. Very, very nice play. Going up to 4-gate and a forge. Off of that third base is MAXPAX. Fourth base gets down. Could turn on the Oracle. And he will. But if the Lings deny the Adepts, you're not going to kill that. Yeah, the Oracle changes targets to the Lings, which I think buys plenty of time for the hatchery to survive. I think that's a worthwhile sacrifice there for Mr. Shin. Oh, drones are going to have to fight. But 3 drones for 2 Adepts is absolutely acceptable. 4 more drones, 2 more Overlords. Shin, I was going to say he's done such a good job of not getting supply blocked. He hits his first supply block here, but it's not for long, right? It's like a 5-6 second supply block. Gets to just below 500 minerals. Overlords pop, spends his money again immediately. Builds 5 more Overlords to make sure he never gets supply blocked again for the rest of this early game. Probably a little bit of an overreaction there to finding himself in his first supply block, but I think at this stage you can really afford it. You've got 3 mineral lines going. It's much better to just pump Overlords, not get supply blocked again. Unless there's an attack that's hitting you right now that you need to pump army for. It's A-okay. Now, are we going to see an early Roach speed? We have seen Shin against Hero sometimes play just Roach Bane defensive. I hate it. I think it's a bad style. It can work against Hero sometimes because he'll skip Storm and just not kind of do the normal thing. But, oh, look at this. He takes the gold. He's so happy to give this up if the Stalkers push it. But he's like, well, this base might die. If this base dies, I have the gold. That's fine. It's done its job of distracting you. If you go for the gold, that's fine. This earlier 4th base on the right survives. So he's super happy either way. Shin, beautiful play. He's building a lot of Zerglings. He's going to go up to 46 Zerglings here. Bring his Queens over with it. He's got Roach speed building. Hydroden's just made. How quick is he on the upgrade, guys? He's not started the upgrade yet. The pressure of these Stalkers getting to him a little bit. He's got to send some Lings past to absorb the stasis traps. Oh, gosh. It's a lot of Zerglings to get frozen there. 13 Zerglings in that one on the right. 3 in the one on the left, which should hopefully pop out and set off that other stasis trap almost instantly, at least. Hatchery's going to go down. He's going to give it up, guys. Unfortunately, the stasis trap's still there, but the Ling's going to go for a bit of a counterattack. They could cancel the 4th. They're going to go for the 3rd, though, and I think Zealot Warpins and the battery should be able to defend this. Then again, Ling's getting in the mineral line could be nice. He doesn't know about the 4th base. He's going to head over there, but, dude, he's not even expecting that to be up yet. Hydras are building. Gold base is still here for Shin. He's going to go Roach Hydra off of the gold base. 65 drone Roach Hydra all in. 3 Oracles is too many. It would have been a good fight without the Oracles there, but with the Oracles, he's got to fall back, and the Stalkers are going to clean up so many more of these Zerglings. This unit's loss tab's looking nasty. Like, I like the strategy for Shin, but I think the execution's been a bit better for MAXPAX. Those stasis traps getting the better of SHIN so far. Hydras, Queens, and Link getting caught out, as well as a few drones on the rally point here. These Oracles have been a real problem for him. The Lings are trying to chase. Can he actually wrap around these Stalkers? The answer is no. He's got to pull back with those Zerglings, and indeed he does. Groove Spines has finished. The Hydra Den does need to go for the other Hydra upgrade. He hasn't started it just yet. Of course, the pressure. The pressure is getting to him, and as these Zealots run in, they're going to deny any potential new base there. Another drone goes down on the gold. Hydra movement speed's on the way, but it's not here just yet. Feels like this Hydra movement speed's kicking in too late. If he could spring across the map and attack this base right now, maybe, but oh my gosh. And he pulls back for the Zealots. Another Roach Hydra. They rally in the wrong direction. They go down. These Zealots, more than a match for the Zerglings, so the Roaches are forced to defend, which they do a good job of. Roach is very good at dealing with the Zealots. At the same time, Hydra's trying to defend this gold base, but you are defending down a ramp, which is always uncomfortable. MAXPAX with some really good blink micro. These Lings on the backside not quite setting off the stasis trap. One Roach will set it off now. Nice micro there, but of course, Stalker on the watchtower on the right side sees this Roach Ling coming. MAXPAX has time to react, but he's not watching. He's going to play Double Forge. Double Forge. It's a Gatewayman style, guys. 10-gate mass blink, which is really hard to deal with when you're down on income. MAXPAX is going to Zerg the Zerg player. And I think losing that fourth on the right side, kind of problematic here. If he was able to defend that a little bit better without so many Zerglings getting frozen, this could have been nice, but he just didn't quite have his creep far enough in front of it, maybe. Maybe that was the main issue. Hydra's trying to defend this left side. One Stalker does go down, but MAXPAX pretty good on his blinks overall. More stasis traps try to come forward, but he realizes Roach Hydra's flanking in on him. He's got to deal with it. Roach Hydra on the right side does deal with those Zealots, but MAXPAX quick to pull back. He does lose another Stalker on the retreat. I think chasing there would have been good. Those Stalkers are in a bit of disarray, but look at the numbers. MAXPAX has so many Stalkers. He's got to be careful. It's an arc of Roach Hydra, but every fight like that seems to favor the Blink Stalkers. 2,000 resources advantage in the trading. MAXPAX all over this early game. 30 supply lead for SHIN, but it's Roach Hydra, and 2-1 upgrades are going to be kicking in soon. The superior upgraded Blink Stalkers doing very well. The Cannons and the Zealots trying to defend on this side. Stalkers are going to try and engage. We've got ourselves a big old fight here. Roach Hydra will clear the Cannons and force these Hydras into them. The Stalkers into them, I mean. The Hydras try to set up a concave, but the Stalkers quick to pull back right now. A lot of workers going down on that fourth base. It's a good fight for SHIN. It's a very good fight for SHIN, but he's got to be careful. If the numbers ever turn around and scale in the other direction, things could go very awry. He's going to focus down the Cybercore, but the Stalkers come in and engage him. The numbers of Protoss units are absolutely insane. The Cybercore goes down, which means no more Stalker warp-ins, but I think MAXPAX already has the numbers to chase this army down. You're stuck on his side of the map. Like I said, when the numbers turn, that's a real big issue. And indeed, the numbers have turned. The Stalkers blinking back, so few dying, while the Roaches and Hydras die in droves. The entire gold base has been eradicated by a Zealot run by. Even though you killed the probes on the fourth, you did not kill the fourth base, and you are losing your fourth, which means you as the Zerg player are unfortunately dead, despite a clever opening, a very good initial defense. MAXPAX with the 10-gate double upgrade. Stalker Zealot swarms the Zerg player. You can see he just utilized the terrain on this map, took way too many good trades, and I do think SHIN probably should have been Ling countering earlier when those first pressures came in. The supply right now, it's GG. Double upgrade advantage for the Stalkers and the Zealots over the Roach Hydra, and the Protoss is up in supply. It might look good for Zerg right here. You got to realize this is 1/3 of the Protoss army putting up a valiant defense. The moment the rest of the Stalkers come in, you can blink on his face. The Oracles even headbutt, turning their lasers on. The Oracles are dying, but so is the entire Zerg army. MAXPAX gets a point on the board. All right, guys. SHIN in the top right side of Old Sun Temple, a gigantic 4-player map. MAXPAX in the top left side. And what in the world are we seeing here? Because I may have just accidentally let the replay play a bit and just rewound, and we took a quick little break. I had a banana, which is MAXPAX's favorite snack of choice in the middle of a late night series as well. We'll see, maybe he had a banana after the second game. Gets a point on the board now. So this is an Overlord on 14. 14 overpull. Okay, it's overpull, guys. So he goes Overlord into spawning pool, builds a few more drones, and I assume this is a 6 Ling pressure that's meant to take advantage of a no scout build. Or actually, wait, is this not a 4-player map, guys? This is 4 players, right? Oh, MAXPAX just happens to be scouting in the right direction. SHIN is not. It's lucky for MAXPAX. But the Overlord will see it, and that'll tell SHIN what he's up against, but it will also reveal the fact that he's gone for, I wouldn't call it an early pull, I'd call it an early-ish pull. Oof, once again, places the hatchery from too far away. He gets it down, but that's so risky. It's not just him. Dark and a bunch of other Zergs I've seen doing that as well. A lot of Zergs, I think they forget that your units decelerate. That's the whole reason there's the speed mining craze with shift-clicking your workers at the start. You want to tell them to move right to the spot, then give them the other action. If you just give them the action straight away, they decelerate as they approach the action. It's a weird little behavior perk that gives you room for extra micro, but Shin's not been punished for it yet in this series. He's just been dangerously close to twice. Here we go, guys. Lings are going to take down the probes. Here we go. Lings taking off the probe. Zergling's going to rotate around. Zealot's here. Good response. The Zealot can buy time, and once the Adept's out, the Zerglings get shut down. Now, the problem here for Shin is this is a big slowdown in your early economy. Is he able to disrupt enough for this to be worth it? The Adept's out, perfectly timed, already takes out one of these. There's a second gas mining. The Stargate has been delayed, but not massively. If he places it now, it's totally fine. Let me try and put it in the wall off, I think. Second Adept's being chronoed. I mean, did MAXPAX see the lack of gas? Yeah, he saw the lack of gas, so I'm surprised he's delayed the Stargate this long. He doesn't really need to be that worried about this. Let's chase the Zerglings down there. One of them does not escape. So 2 Zerglings have gone down. Where's the other Zergling? Here it is. Okay, one escapes to the bottom right. This one's still circling in the main, sees the Stargate. We'll force this Adept back as well. So MAXPAX gets a fair bit distracted, but he goes back to chronoing probes. His Stargate's not too delayed, and I still think with Shin's third only now starting at 3 minutes, his link speed's still quite a ways away. The Adepts have a window to pair up, pressure, maybe pick off a drone or two, at least force a few more Zerglings. Feels like it'll kind of balance out. The question for me is, where does Shin take his fourth? This fourth down here is miles away. This one is like in the Protoss' face. So Zerg is kind of forced to expand in this straight line along the south of the map. Whereas I think MAXPAX probably, yeah, he just takes the third towards you. And then his fourth will be very far away though. Void Ray first. Ooh, I was not expecting that. MAXPAX is going to go Overlord hunting, guys. Four more drones are building. Wing speed. 3 queens up. 4th one building. Bit of a supply block there. The Oracle does get delayed in this one. And the Void Ray is going to try and hunt an Overlord. If he can go south and catch a second one and then come home and get this, that'll be good. Shin pulls the Overlord away, but then he goes back, actually. So we'll be a sitting duck for this Void Ray later on. And now the reveal on the Void Ray. How quickly do we pull our Overlords back? Shin, got to get these boys out of there. He's not reacted. He's not reacted. His Overlords are just sitting there. Shin, wake up, buddy. That's way too slow on that Overlord. He's going to lose the second one. This third one's still really exposed as well. This is crazy that he's leaving his Overlords out like this. It's really one of the key things. You don't want that Void Ray to be getting so many Overlords, and yet he's leaving another one that could easily get cleaned up. And there are 2 Overlords over here, though. Only this one. Looks like it'll be easy to find. Oracle's going to find 2 drones. Nice move here for MAXPAX. Remember, guys, Shin needs clean openings to make this work. Lings are targeting both the Adepts and the Nexus. He needs a few Lings on the north, maybe, to clean these Adepts up. Nice little warp in there for Mr. Shin. The Oracles will come home. He's going to take out no Adepts. He's got to kill the Adepts, man. You got to finish the Adepts off. Oh, okay. Does get a little bit of damage. 2 drones do go down to the Void Ray. Was it the Void Ray that just killed 2 drones? He's got 3 kills. No, that was just the 2 that died earlier. Okay, that was the 2 that died earlier, but you can see almost 2.5 to 1 in the units lost tab. Worker count, though, is ahead for Shin. You got to realize Void Ray doesn't do damage as fast as an Oracle does, so even losing a few Overlords, I think Shin's economy's fine. Oracle's going through the north. There is a Spore there and a Queen. Void Ray gets pushed back. Blink is on the way. Forge is now building. It's 4-gate Blink. MAXPAX building a battery on this 3rd base as he thinks about pushing towards the Zerg. Where is that 4th going to go? Down here? Okay. So yeah, this 4th is miles away. He should start mining these minerals open so he can get up there to defend it. And he's got to try and spread creep to that high ground. So you should have an Overlord here. But because the Void Ray came in, it's kind of hard to spread up. He's going to put 1 drone on it. I think he honestly needs 2 drones. Because we're almost at the point where Blink Stalkers are coming across the map. I guess this is so far away, though. MAXPAX will have to push so far to get to that corner. And this map does kind of remind me of Whirlwind a little bit. And that it's huge. Massive, massive map. Overlord speed on the way. Shin wants to do a German taxi. He's going to load queens into an Overlord, go with Mass Roach Ravager. Stalker's very good against that if you just keep massing Stalkers. He's also building some extra cannon battery. It feels like Shin has made MAXPAX very nervous in this series. MAXPAX building extra layers of insurance as he goes second Forge. Okay, he's going to play double Forge again. He's decided, you know what? Shin couldn't do anything in that last game. If I just commit to Mass Gateway Oracle, I can just kite your units with Blink Stalkers all the way across the map and you're screwed. And if he can catch like the queens in the Overlord or anything like that, that could be massive. All the queens pulled to the front. He should not have all the queens together. That in of itself is suspicious. Why are there 6 queens on the front? Why aren't you injecting your main and your natural right now? Well, it's because he wants to load them up into an Overlord and go, doesn't he? But similar to the last game, before he even gets going, the Stalkers and Oracles have him pinned on the defense. The Lings are not counterattacking right now. There's a cannon and a battery on the third. The Roach Ravager is going to try and break these rocks. These Stalkers getting very ambitious, poking in and out right now. MAXPAX, he sees it. He sees it. He knows what's happening. Stalkers warping in. He's going to recall his Stalkers back to this base, and he's going to try and defend it. Where is the German taxi? It's coming, but you know what? He can just walk the queens across. He's got so much creep spread here. He doesn't need anything else. Void Ray is going to kill his 4th base. Stasis Trap's very annoying for these Zerglings to deal with. Roach Ravager Zergling trying to come in from all sides. He's got to spread some Lings in front. He does, but another 6 or 7 Zerglings do get frozen. The the Stasis in the north is still there. It's going to catch a Ravager, which is very nice. Biles are landing on the shield battery, but it doesn't quite kill it, which means those Biles are basically worthless. It's already emptied its juice onto the cannon. So not the best first wave of corrosive Biles here for Shin. A massive Stalkers pulling back. The Lings are tanking well. The cannon battery's gone down. The Queens do not have creep, and they can't transfuse because they're off creep right now. Feels like Shin's panicking a little bit under the pressure. The hatchery's going to be going down momentarily in that bottom right side of the map. The Stalker's blinking back. MAXPAX third mineral line is getting blasted. He's losing a lot of probes right now. 4th hatchery's about to go down. Indeed it does. At the same time, Ravager's starting to drop the Queens, finally landing some transfusers, but a few of them had already died. And look at the Stalker count. Yes, you can kill the Nexus, but these Stalkers are going to make you pay a hefty price for it. Is that enough damage? There's a 4th base finishing on the other side right now for MAXPAX. It's 3 base versus 3 base. Worker count dead even. 53 versus 52. The Oracles come in now with their last little bits of energy, gunning down these Ravagers. The Reddit point Stalkers are starting to fall, but they all get cleaned up, including the Dropper-Lord. And at the end of the day, that is a 2,500 resource lost. Close to 3,000 resource lost trade advantage. And you can just see how powerful that setup is now for MAXPAX. He's transferred workers to this new base on the left. The Void Ray comes forward, picks off a drone. There's nothing that shoots up. There's one Queen right now. Queen doesn't beat a Void Ray, guys. So look at this. He's literally a single Void Ray is denying all of his mining. There's Roaches without Roach speed ready just yet. Not ready for another 20 seconds. There's Stalkers blinking back to create themselves an arc. The Roaches just do not do the damage. They don't have the movement speed. And this is a devastating victory. MAXPAX has figured out you don't do well against heavy blink into double forge. I am going to do this every game from now on. And I know you're going to struggle with it. He's just saying, if I get blink Stalkers in your face, you are always trying to spring across the map about 6 to 7 minutes with either Roach Hydra or something like this. If at that 6 to 7 minute mark, I'm in your face with Stalkers and Oracles, you can't hide it from me, number one. I don't need to rush a fast 4th. I can make extra cannons and batteries. And it's just really hard for you to cross the map without me picking off units the entire frigging way. What can Ragnarok do? Well, what I would have loved to see in this game, guys, was Dropper Lords. If he could have, with the Overlord speed, got 2 Dropper Lords down here or something, gone and dropped Lings in the natural or the main, or gone around the top side with Ling drops from there, that would have been a really cool way to bust across. I think his Queens were a bit too obvious with how they were grouping up, especially with creep so far across the map. I think he just, pulling all 6 Queens together like this, because it was just before he was ready to, he just wanted to load up and go. The Oracles just came in at the perfect time, and you kind of need to leave 1 or 2 Queens forward on the edge, just pressing these Oracles back a little bit more, or you need to be a bit more active with like Lings and stuff, trying to just keep him stuck on his side of the map. I would have liked to see Shin a bit more active with his Zerglings here. Try to keep MAXPAX's attention elsewhere. It feels like MAXPAX doesn't have any pressure on him at this stage, and he's able to just scout everything that's coming. It's hard to say what to do, but MAXPAX ties up the series 2-2. We're going to go into game 5. Well, there goes the momentum. Shin's got to keep it tight and keep it together here. Like I said, guys, he's a mid-game master. Roach Hydra, timing attacks. Hydra Bane, timing attacks. And the German Taxi. He's used up all 3 of his best builds. The question for me now is, does he have another play? I've said for a while, if Shin could mix in some mutas, mix in some really tight early lurker player, it would be excellent. He sees the probe, cancels the Overlord, and does build that hatchery. You can see there the Viscera from that egg that got cancelled. MAXPAX is just going to keep trying to do this every single game. So I love that Shin just sends the drone early. He's still ready. If the probe doesn't get spotted, he still builds the Overlord, lets it finish, builds another drone, goes for a normal 16 hatchery. But I love that Zergs have figured out, if you're playing someone who's really commonly going to go for this early block, just send the drone down 10, 12 seconds early and just be ready. They often even control group the egg ahead of time. So the moment they see the probe, they can just press the control group, press escape, cancel that, and then build that hatchery straight away. Gateway is coming up on the natural. Keep in mind, guys, you can full wall this base and still move workers through this worker-only path. I'm not sure. Has he blocked the worker-only path? Or can you still move workers out here? It looks like he's fully blocked it. So these minerals denote a worker-only path, but it looks like the gateway's blocked it. Apparently on the more modern version of this map from Avex, this is just removed. But I'm curious if a worker can move in and out of there. I imagine he just builds another building here, has a normal choke point. Pretty rare you see this matter anyway, there being a worker-only path on the natural. This was, I think, the map where I was freaking out when I was testing the wall-offs, because I was like, I can still move my worker through. This wall-off doesn't work. And because they didn't have the minerals on the map at first. And I was like, why can I move my worker? And then they're like, oh, try to move a zealot through, and it wouldn't move. And I was like, huh? They're like, oh yeah, that's a worker-only path. And I was like, oh, but there's no visual indicator, what? So anyway, apparently this has been removed in the current version of the map. I doubt it matters here at all. We do, of course, have destructible debris, which can be destroyed on this ramp to widen the ramp. Oh, no chrono on the gateway, and the Overlord sees this. This is a very cramped natural, keep in mind, guys. There's not a lot of space here behind this wall-off. Good amount of space in the main, though. Decent amount. Get a pylon here, You can build plenty of stuff there. Stargate's on the way. Now, only 2 Zerglings for SHIN. So even though you still go ling speed, because there's no chrono on the gateway, you just build 2 Zerglings. And it is going to be European style. 3rd queen before 3rd hatchery. So just delays the 3rd hatchery. About what? 10, 15 seconds? Gets the 2 queens on the natural really fast. Did also go double inject. No creep tumor. We'll take this 3rd here. Adept tries to move out. Zerglings move in. Just going to confirm indeed what is going on. Of course, the Zerglings will split up. And the Adept is going to chase the one in the natural, which gives the one in the main a bit of freedom to start biting some probes. Of course, the probes, when they turn to fight, the Zergling says, I can't take 4 or 5 probes at once, but I can waste a bit of mining time. Oh, he's almost going to get it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Good micro there by MAXPAX. Guys, for the 2nd time this week, I've been mid-observing game, and my mouse has gone a bit haywire, and I've gone, what's going on? And I look over, and the claws on the side of my Nidus Worm model from the tabletop have hooked onto my mouse cable. So I'm going to unplug my mouse cable here. It is wireless. And go back to wireless mode. Bloody Nidus Worm. It's got these big claws on it. My cable of my mouse always gets caught under one of them, and I'm like, why? Why's my mouse cable getting pulled? Bloody Zerg. Oracle coming forward. 2nd Oracle on the way, 2nd gate. Stock standard opening for MAXPAX. People would say, what uncreative Protoss players we have these days. Then they'd realize the Oracle is a god tier unit in the early game of PvZ, and it'd be kind of insane to do anything else. The real decision is usually, you know, do you squeeze a Voidrian before going Oracle? Do you chrono your 2 Adepts or chrono probes? It's been a chronoing probes version of the build. Oracle's going to take out 1 creep tumor there. Looks for drones, doesn't find any. Its shields do protect it from any real damage. Tried to pull the queens out of position. Did it work? Yes, it did. But good reaction on the drones. Only losing 1 drone. Doesn't get any real damage on the Oracle, so still a success for MAXPAX, as he doesn't really pay any long-term price. Now MAXPAX is going to do 4 gate glaives again, it looks like, guys. Oh, actually, no. No, this looks like Blink. If the Twilight's before 4 minutes, like before, say, 350, if it's like a 3.5, 340 minute, 3-minute 40 Twilight, then that's big. This is like 420. This is maybe 410. It's a very standard Twilight Council, especially with the Forge going down afterwards. Normally that Forge is very delayed if you are going Adepts. Oh, 1 drone goes down. Catches the rally, but doesn't target the rally. The Queen pushes him back. Adept's trying to come in from this angle. Drones not mineral walking straight away, so he loses 2 of them. 1 to the Oracle. Oracle from the left. Queens are going to say no. Oracle does take a fair bit of damage. And you can see here, guys, both Adepts go down, but 5 drones, 5 Zerglings. It's a good start. And it feels like, remember what I said at the start of the series, SHIN needs good early games? He's going to go back to Hydra Bane now, which I think is probably, I guess, the most long-term one of his strategies. And I think it's quite good against the heavy Blink play and the double upgrade play that MAXPAX has been favoring. He's going to play 2nd Forge again. I called it. Did I not call it after that last game, guys? I said he's figured out Shin struggling against this. I'm just going to play double Forge every game. And when it makes sense, it's if you found something that works, feels like your opponent can't deal with it, it's a good thing to do. Shin's fourth is going to get easily cancelled here. I love that Shin, though, is more active with his lings. They can run straight in there. That depth's not in position. MAXPAX fixed it, though, very quickly. Good adjustment. This base will get cancelled. Shin's got another base on the other side, so it's not the end of the world. Just cancel, 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 cancel. Ooh, okay. I don't like that. I think 200 minerals makes a big difference at this stage. Hydroden's done. He goes +1 range. Where's the Hydroden, though? There we go. Hydroden's just now starting. Few seconds delayed after Hydra. Dude, where did he... Who the hell did he tell to build this Hydroden? Did that guy come from the third base? That Hydroden is so delayed. Feels like Shin's really just struggling with the Stalker Oracle opening, and there's two things I have to say, and number one, this is the most standard opening. Come on, man, you can do better than this. On the other hand, it is really hard to deal with guys like MAXPAX when they do this opening. They are so good at it. You can defend this opening 1,000 times. You play MAXPAX, he's at your base 20 seconds earlier. His Stalkers and Oracles are microed better. At least Shin does deny the fourth base. If you lose your fourth and let them get their fourth for free, that's where you end up screwed up like he did earlier in today's series. Now, 64 workers to 63 is acceptable. You can't be fighting out here with Lings, I don't think. Not with the Oracles there. And does lose a lot of Zerglings, my lord. 38 Lings have gone down. These Lings continue to run back into the Stalkers. New fourth base builds on the low ground. He's got to go deny that with these Zerglings while the Hydras come out. But the Hydra upgrades and the Hydra production is just so delayed. You've got to be much cleaner on this opening, I think, as Shin. Otherwise, MAXPAX is just going to kind of get in control. And if he outnumbers you with double upgraded Stalkers, you're in trouble. But that's big. That's big. He's going to take out the battery. Nicely done. Forces a warp in on the other side of that mineral line. Hydras are there. Lings are going to come in from behind. There are already 2 stasis traps. Lings are going to set off one of those. Needs to spread these Lings forward. Needs to spread these Lings forward. Can't just be headbutting. Oh, good Ling flank from the left, though. Those guys don't get hit by the stasis trap. A couple of the Hydras do start... Stalkers do start to fall. Units lost tab. Still 2-1 in favor of Protoss, but not as bad as it was earlier. The problem... Oh, actually, no, he keeps his fourth alive, and he's rebuilding the fifth down there. Problem is being stuck on 64 workers against a Protoss, but I think Hydrabane scales well enough. Double upgrades might not be as big of a problem for Hydraling. A few more Lings getting frozen by stasis traps. One of the more frustrating spells in the Protoss arsenal. Hydra's coming forward right now. Oh my gosh, he's on move command. A little dangerous, man. These Stalkers could blink on your face. He doesn't have any Lings here. If those Stalkers blink on him, he's in trouble. There are a few more Lings coming in, though. You don't want to be losing Hydras. A lot of Hydras just went down, and he's not able to get many Stalkers for revenge. How many did he lose? 4 Hydras just died. 8 Stalkers have gone down, but 100 Zerglings. Units lost tab 2-1, and MAXPAX has his fourth up. He's also starting +2 armor, a Robo, a Cannon, and he's on 10 Gate Zealot Stalker production. For Shin right now, he has squeezed his way up to 74 workers. He's got units splitting up, so he can defend with +1 melee. Even though the Zealots have 1-1, +1 melee is going to make it playable, but the Zealots will trade pretty well. You don't have Banes or Hydras. Oh no. 1-1 Zealots are so good, actually. The +1 armor cancels out the +1 melee. It's pretty damn nice. The Hydra's trying to defend up north. These Lings getting hammered. You needed a few Banes and Hydras here. Like, Shin needs to get to that point where he has 10 Hydras at least on each side with some Banes, with some Lings, and then he can deal with the Zealots easily. But until he's at that point, anytime he's just going in with scraps, that is where the upgrades really benefit. Zealot run-bys against pure Zergling rally is where the upgrades go absolutely crazy. And that's what they're doing right now. More Zealots coming in on that south side. Hydra count has been whittled down. There's so few Hydras here. The Stalkers just picking at him. MAXPAX is just out multitasking him with the superior numbers and upgrades. He's up on 1-1 against the 1-1. But a lot of the time, the armor upgrade is just giving extra value here. Hydras and Lings trying to rally together a defense. He just can't quite do it. And it feels like Shin has to be tighter in that 6-minute moment of the game when the Stalkers come across. He has to get more in control of the situation. But MAXPAX is speed running to 3 base and then saying, okay, now non-stop interaction starts. Good luck keeping up with me. I am the best Protoss player in the world outside of Clem when it comes to clicking the buttons very quickly. Hero, I think, is tactically a bit more of a menace, has moments where he micros better, but in terms of just consistent multitasking, MAXPAX is an absolute freak. He is just so good in his protracted battles, clicking Zealots on target units, blinking Stalkers back. Shin finally chases him back and kills a lot of Stalkers, but the question is at what cost? He's lost so many units to the Zealots at the same time. He has closed the units lost gap a bit, but if those Stalkers in the north chase him down, he's in trouble. Queens are falling, Zealots gunning them down. It's 2-1 upgrades now, soon to be 2-2 for the Zealots. And if you can just keep sending Zealots on that south side, it's a tax that I don't think Shin can ever get on top of. He loses his 4th base, and he doesn't have any Banes here. He can't even afford suicide units to deal with the Zealots, which means the Zealots just get on top of the Hydras, and you can see the power of the upgrades. 2-1 is just so nice for the Protoss. The Zealots do finally go down, but look at that. You're back on 3 base. It's a 3 base Zerg here against a 5 base Protoss. And the Protoss is Zerging the Zerg player. It's a style we used to see a lot of. Hero was the one who popularized this a few years ago. Just playing mass Gatewayman and out-Zerging, out-expanding, out-massing the Zerg, using a very mineral-focused style, heavy basic units, double forge, and there's nothing Shin can do now. He's going to tap out. A 3-base Zerg cannot fight back against that. All right, guys. MAXPAX only needs 1 more to finish it. We're going on to Verdant Temple. And once again, he's going to go across at the very start. This is a pretty small map. I don't know if Shin can get the expansion up this time. I dare say he's not even going to try. Yeah, he's not going to try. He's just like, yeah, you're going to block it. But in that case, I guess we're going spawning pool first, because Shin's not moved out with a drone at all. It's 35 seconds. Yeah, he's going to go spawning pool there. Pretty quick pool first build. Interesting. All right, guys, so we've got a little bit of water in the middle of the map. Gateway goes down. With this map, you've got a backdoor that can get broken down. There's Zerg rocks behind it that naturally decay and will die at about 8 minutes if you don't spread creep to them. And then there's a rock there. You can move workers up through this worker-only path. The rocks themselves are 2,000 hit points, 2 to 3. I think it's 3 armor on rocks. Takes a long time to clear those out. Now, Shin is going to move out with a drone, pretends to go take a 3rd or whatever, and then he goes back. MAXPAX is like, I need to scout, sees the spawning pool, and of course, that allows Shin to take his hatchery on location. You do not want to take another hatchery, so I think this is the exact correct opening for Shin to kind of put MAXPAX in a situation where, unless he was willing to put a pylon down, which he wasn't, he had to go in the main to scout. Now, if he put a pylon down, I think Shin would have been kind of screwed. And we are going to see Cybercore before Nexus, guys, so MAXPAX has to slow down his Nexus, he has to slow down his second gas. So you see Cybercore, Nexus, now he has to go pylon and then second gas. Because of the threat of 6 earlylings running across. Now, we know it's not 6, it's just 2. And they should go after the probe, which they will. Second gas still not down. MAXPAX, a little slow on that second gas. Could have been a little bit faster. All right, he's going to inject, move to the natural. Going to go for a pretty quick ling speed. Who comes out on top? Generally, I would say Protoss comes out on top of these openings, but you've successfully messed up the builds, delayed the oracles, which are, of course, the main thing that MAXPAX leans into. So I think there's room, if you're more experienced in this scenario, even though your economy's a little behind, you can get a lead off of their delayed tech. Even though, like, just flat economy, it's really hard to afford your 3rd hatchery here. You know, you're building 3 queens and ling speed. It's tough to get into the situation you want to. Oh, can he get the probe? Not quite. Good micro there for MAXPAX, but his Stargate's already about 20 seconds delayed from normal. Is that enough to really allow him to get back in at this 3rd base spread so far? But keep in mind, that means Protoss is going to have to spread out for their expansions as well. MAXPAX already checking his back rocks, making sure there's no nasty cheese going on there. 4 more Zerglings are going to be building. That's, of course, on top of the 3 that are out. So 7 Zerglings to deal with the double Adept pressure. Because of the core first, the Adepts are out a little bit earlier. You'll notice he goes left, making sure Lings aren't trying to run by as his Adepts move out. And the Queens are coming forward trying to protect this creep tumor. It's going to be done in 5 seconds. I think it's going to be done just before the Adepts can snipe it. Yes, it is. Here we go. 2 Zerglings already going down. Queen's doing some nice damage to the Adepts, but they do find an area off creep where the Queens can't really pursue them very well. Adept Shade's threatening. Oh, yeah, that's a good Shade. Pick off a drone from this side and then run away, but oh, good pullback with the drones for Shin. Dude, Shin's early game has really been on point at the start of this series. Pretty good in the last few games as well. I did do a bit of post-game analysis I probably don't include in the YouTube video of that last game, by the way. We'll talk about that in a moment. As we get to the mid-game, that's going to really matter. Needs to fix the mistakes of that last game. There was some unforced errors from Shin that gave MAXPAX too much room. Oh, gets himself a drone. That Adept's going to get out as well. This is good trading, man. The fact that he got 6 Zerglings, a drone, mining time, he's distracting him. Keeping him busy, higher chance of hitting supply blocks and stuff because of that. But Shin's been pretty good about it. He handles the chaos quite well. Oracle flies into 3 queens. Does get a little bit of paint chipped off it. 3 hit points of damage. 3rd Nexus coming up. Lings are going to go in, see the Adepts in the wall off, and Shin will promptly run away. Twilight Council goes down into a second gate. I can't imagine MAXPAX does anything other than what he's been doing for the last few games. Then again, it's a bit more of a small map where maybe the mass Gatewayman style doesn't have as much room to like micro Stalkers and Oracles back. Maybe. Do you guys think he just goes Storm? He might play Storm. I don't know. It's kind of spread out the bases on this map though, so it does favor a mobile style. One drone goes down. Nice little catch there for MAXPAX. Drones are all rallying. There's big areas between these bases where you can pick off units. I would like to see one of these overlords up north as well, because there's a big area in the fog. Queen getting some good hits on that Oracle. Takes a lot of damage. Still no lair. Roachhorn goes down. You got to get a lair, mate. It's 5:06. Yeah, it's pretty late. Okay, lair goes down. Now, the big things I was talking about, what were the big mistakes in that last game? His Hydroden was 13 or 14 seconds delayed from when the lair finished. He was very quick at starting Groove Spines, but that was late. He wasn't very good at setting off stasis traps, right? You've got to, at the start of the fights, just click the lings, like half your lings, like fan about 8 to 10 Zerglings through. If the Stalkers are pushing from here, your lings are coming from here, you A-move, you grab your front lings, you click some here, some here, some here. You just fan like 10, 12 Zerglings, and that out naturally to do that. The other thing was he should have given up his 4th base. He's going to go 4th and 5th base again. Look at that, 5th base drone gets denied. 4th base drone gets denied. MAXPAX says no 4th base for you, boy. Now you can take this base because, remember, you can break this sign. I actually think this 4th up here is the easiest to defend. But players who haven't played a ton of Verdant Temple, they never do that. They never take it. And I'm always like, bro, it's so easy. Break the rocks. I know that's annoying, but break the rocks. Take your 4th. It's a better base. And you can move a drone down the worker-only path, so you can take the base well before the rocks are gone. But he's going to expand to the right side. MAXPAX is going to go second forge again. Yeah, MAXPAX has just found the winning formula. He's just going to keep doing it. He's just going to keep doing it. He's a machine, man. If he gets to do the same build order and he's not worried about anything, oh, that's tough. Double Forge is not the best at holding like Roach Max all-ins. Like sometimes if you get ahead in the early game, a Roach Max all-in can actually overwhelm this because the Zealots don't scale well. Likewise, Roach Hydra sometimes can do okay, but first you got to defend the blink pressure, and this time he will have to give up his 4th base. Now, you can see the Adepts there. They cancel the Shade. They're going to go in. Oh my god. No, you just can't kill that. You actually cannot kill that with Zerglings. They will kill unlimited Zerglings in that choke point. 5, 6 Zerglings go down. Hatchery gets cancelled there, as does the drone get killed once it pops out of that hatchery. The Zerglings are trying to surround the Stalkers as well, man. They're trying to run across this map, these Zerglings, trying to find distraction at the very least. Without Hydras, these Adepts are just a nuisance. They're not really doing significant damage. They're just annoying you, and that in of itself might just be enough. I like the Zerglings staying active on the map. They are revelated right now, but the Hydras are here. Groove Spines, I think, a little bit more prompt this time. Another Creep Tumor denied. That's so annoying. Hydras will clean up the Adepts there. Queen's taking a bit of damage, but you've got to spread these lings forward. Do not eat the stasis traps. And that was much better for Shin that time around. Lings will kill a Zealot. Could take out the cannon if they want and then run away. They don't quite get the Zealot. They say, tell your friends, as they leave him on 3 hit points. In a very wounded state. Ragnarok, aka Shin here, he has a massive supply. And he is going Roaches and Hydras. He's got Roach speed. So yeah, he wants to play Roach Hydra. The problem with Roaches is unless you get a big supply advantage, they're not good against the Stalkers. They're there to deal with the Zealots. They're there to tank against the Zealots a bit better. The problem is the Stalkers outrange them so much and do bonus to Armored, which is why Lings are better against the Stalkers. The problem with Zerglings is they fall off hard against the upgraded Zealots. These Zerglings derping in the corner there, struggling to see where they could move. And it's a Nidus Worm. Very cute. I like the idea of a Nidus Worm here as a way of crossing the map. It seems impossible to cross the map into this mass Stalker style, but if you can get a Nidus Worm up in the back of your base while you guys are fighting in the middle, that's going to be big. But oh my gosh, another Stasis Trap. You've got to be so wary of these Stasis Traps. He's not got an Overseer. There's 3 Stasis Traps down the ramp, which give MAXPAX such a kind of safety blanket. One Stalker does go down. Second one gets low, but doesn't quite fall. Zealot run by comes in. Roach Hydra will deal with that. These guys have got to be careful. The Stasis Traps! No! Shin, careful! Luckily, it's MAXPAX, not Hero, and he's not just going to blink on your face afterwards. Well, I say luckily, but luckily for who? I don't know. If he blinked in there without the Zealots, that might have been bad. These guys, though, frozen for a little while. There's still 2 Stasis Traps right in front of it. Nidus Worm is up right now. There's an Overseer in the back door. It's on Pervert mode. It's just outside of vision. He could throw a Nidus in the main, but right now it feels like MAXPAX is the one who's bullying him rather than the other way around. The other 2 Stasis Traps expire there. They do not last forever. The Zealots on the left side get gunned down. The Roach Hydra on the right side trying to pull back from the Stalkers, but Shin's got to be careful. He could get surrounded here. The rest of the army's coming in from the left. They're going to catch more Zealots coming in, which is actually excellent here for Shin, but Shin sending a ton of Roach Hydra into the Nidus because it's popped. It's popped. Oh my gosh. He's in. He does take out the pylon. The Zealots are derping. They will not be able to deal with this. The Roach Hydra in the middle of the map says, good luck dealing with the attack in your main at the same time, mate. Good luck with that. It felt like Shin was falling behind in this game, but he's going to depower a ton of the production. He's going to fall back and try to set up a better fighting position here. The Hydra's kind of derping out. A few of them are not really taking the best engagement. He's going to try and fight at the Nidus Worm while throwing one up on the low ground. More Hydras and Roaches coming in right now. There's not that many Stalkers. He can even hold position up here and gun down the probes. The Zealots coming in, but there's so much Roach Hydra in such a big ball with +1 there. Both Hydra upgrades have been done. Muscle augments and groove spines, not to mention the Roach speed. So the speed, the movement speed, the range upgrades are all there, and Shin getting on top of the production. A clever way to do it. We've said before, we'll say it again. Shin has that 6 to 9 minute, in this case 10-minute window where he's scary. It felt like in that game, and I can almost guarantee you, MAXPAX thought he'd made it past that window. He's like, I've got you pinned. You can't cross the map. By the time you cross the map, I'll have layers of cannons and batteries and stasis traps and stalkers. You're not gonna. I'm gonna wear you down on the way across this map. But the Nidus goes up. He's too busy doing his own multitasking, and the Roach Hydra does scale really well. The Zealots fall off really hard when they're attacking into a massive ball of Roach Hydra. The Zealots are amazing at going in and fighting a skirmish against a few Lings, a few Roaches, or a few Hydras when the Zerg's not watching. They're really good at getting on the rally point and just ripping up drones and queens and units in small numbers. When you get to a big fight, the Zealots don't scale that well. And without any splash damage, they're all about Stalkers, which of course are very positioning dependent. They need space to blink backwards. And when Zerg's already on top of your production, whoo! Delicious play. I like the way he hunted the Stalkers down as well. They couldn't really stop to recall, you know, until he already created a bit of space. This is just really well played here by Shin, who then runs these units home, gets them in the Nidus to reinforce. Honestly, the first army probably could have stayed on top of the recall. He could have pushed in and actually killed all the Stalkers. Like, look at this. Imagine if he just kept moving in. He's like, oh god, what's recalling? But look at what actually recalls. It's like 7 Stalkers. He could have just moved on top of it and tried to kill it. It probably overwhelms it completely straight away. But he's playing it a bit safer. Fair call. Doesn't want to get recall surrounded by Zealots, right? GG, well played. Nice game 6 for Shin. Alright guys, game 7 is being forced. It's going to be on lockdown, a map we've seen a fair bit of over the past weeks. Top right for Shin, bottom left for MAXPAX. And oh my! He's not scouted. He's not going to go block his expansion. He's like 7 games in. I'm going to not scout. But he doesn't go gas first. Maybe it's just a gate scout. Yeah, it looks like just a gate scout. Fair call. I don't think you want to play too risky against Mr. Shin. Shin is here ready to go for that expansion. He sees no probe coming in, and he's like, oh, cool. I can build a 16th drone and place my hatchery. Wow. Smoothest opening he's had the luxury of having so far. Probes moving through the middle of the map right now. It's going to be a gate gas, so conservative opening for MAXPAX. Now, this map, it's got some interesting terrain. Your 3rd and 4th are not too hard to get up. Your 5th base gets quite far out. Bases in the middle also are kind of interesting because they got like these one-directional ledges leading into them. It feels like a map where it's going to be hard to deal with that Blink Stalker Oracle. So I think clean early game, quick Hydras like in that last game are really crucial for stabilizing against the Blink aggression for Shin. What would be really cool is a Muta swap or something. It's just, how do you get to Mutas against MAXPAX? I think you kind of, I mean, you got to play probably +1 melee into Mutas, I imagine. And his Oracle usage is so good. His Blink Micro is so good. It's really hard to do much with that. I wouldn't be surprised if he just plays Hydra Bane or Roach Hydra again. His 2 best styles. We'll see how he navigates the early game. The Proboros is already bouncing his workers around a little bit. You can see these workers are getting thrown off their mineral patches, and Shin's having to quickly react. MAXPAX being as annoying as he can. Can't do this if you accidentally mine 5 minerals, which he does now, but the pool's already finished. Zerglings will be building soon, so harassment time is about to come to an end anyway. I do like that Shin's not building Zerglings. Look at this, guys. Queen's Drones Overlord pulls off, makes Ling speed here. His build's excellent. It's very streamlined. Warp Gate gets cancelled to start the Stargate. Stargate's not placed optimally. That's meant to be 1 space to the right. Because it's here, you can't fit a gateway in between. So normally you put it as far away as possible, and then you can squeeze gateways, forges, and stuff in between. This is going to limit his production space quite a bit, which is already quite limited because he's got the edge of the doodad here, the wall-off thing, and then you've got the minerals and the nexus blocking. So you can build a few buildings here, but Not as many. Here he can build 1, 2, 3 maybe, if he doesn't mind walling off. Third hatchery on the triangular base. He could have gone south, but that's also pretty far away. There's a little Reaper ledge here. Hopefully we don't see Blink Stalkers blinking up and down there. It's a pretty rare scenario, but occasionally it does end up happening in a chaotic game. For those who don't know, there are banelings in the test chambers, test tubes on this map. Creep Tumor Snipe for the Adept, very well done. It's going to annoy Shin. Does he replace it straight away? I don't think so. If he does, it's going to be much more conservatively placed in the back. Yeah, and he does that. But it's like, it's even behind this one, so it's like, arguably you should have just waited till link speed was done and then placed it here. Not even arguably, just that would have been better. This doesn't need, now he's going to wait to spread it back to where he could have just put it to begin with. That's actually hilarious. Not every day you see this happen, but sometimes. Overlord's going to run away from the Stalker. Should be able to dance around a bit. If the Stalker goes to the other side, he might be able to catch him. The Overlord should try to go south now, down here, because he knows the Stalker's coming, but Shin a little slow to react with the movement. And I think the Stalker easy gets him there. I say easy. No micro on the Stalker from MAXPAX. None at all. Still gets it. Shin could have moved away a little faster, and maybe because MAXPAX didn't start a step, he might have escaped. Forge, Twilight, double gas. Stock standard for MAXPAX. Who's not found a massive amount of damage, just one Overlord. Overlord, oh sorry, Oracle flies in, gets spotted by the Overlord. Queens are ready, and they're going to get some good damage. Oracle already down to 70 hit points. We'll spot the fourth base beginning. Second Oracle at home. Robo, it's a charge build. It's a charge build. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a charge build. That's an early Robo. This is almost certainly going to be charged into Immortal Storm. Ooh, Game 7 mixes it up. Shin might be caught completely off guard by this. Could lead into a nice sharp Zealot arc on pressure. It does look like the setup for it. Wait to see. If he chronos a Warp Prism the moment that Robo's done, because he's already going 6 gates, Warp Prism and Templar Archives would be the two things you'd go for, and chronoing Charge is more important than Charge. Charge is going to be, +1, sorry, is more important than Charge. You've got to get that one. Templar Archives goes down. Prism will get chrono boosted here. He's on 250 minerals. 6-gate arc on charge pressure. Solid opening for MAXPAX, guys. Very solid opening. Really good against Zerglings. Luckily for Ragnarok, he's not going Evo Chamber. If he's going +1 melee Zerglings, this is really tough to deal with. He's going Roach Warren, which is correct, but you often don't have the mobility to defend your fourth base because that first wave hits like a brick. He's going to go over there, morph in some Archons, warp in a few Zealots, and it's going to be go time very early on. You need to hit about 6:15 with this build. If you hit any later than about 6:30, absolute latest, I'd say, it can be really hard to make it work. He's going to try and dodge getting scouted, so MAXPAX prioritizing secrecy over efficiency as he goes up to 8 gateways. He's going to try and warp these in at this base. Prism's going to pick him up and go. There's a Zergling right there. Feels like there's so much vision for Shin right now. Shin building 9 roaches, which is excellent. No roach speed. Shin does not have the gas. He's making 9 roaches. I think he's realized, where are the Stalkers? I've seen no sign of Stalkers. I've seen early 6 gas. I know this is more of a Zealot style right now. If he can get his roaches and queens up north to defend this base, he'll be good. But remember, this can always pick up and then drop his main base. So it's quite annoying dealing with this. And the Lings are distracted, by the Adepts. The Archon Zealot's going to come in. That queen will go down very early. Roaches are on top of the Adepts. They, at least, are not microed very well, so they will go down with no actual kills. The Zealot Archon running in on the third. The drones and the queens there need to get out of it. You got to run away. You got to run away. No, don't get in the pocket. Stacking drones in a pocket when there is a splash damage unit around, like the Archon. Incredibly dangerous. Lings are going to run in, not going to find anything. Cannon, Battery, Oracle, Zealot, Warpins. More than a match for these Zealots, these Zerglings. And the Archon drop will go into the main base. But like I said, it's so annoying defending these triangular positions. The triangular base layout, when you're playing slow roaches and queens, these are the least mobile units. 2 queens go down, and MAXPAX finding value. The Zerglings should be able to deal with the Zealots, but not with the Archons in the fight. If the Archons drop down there as well, that's when you're screwed. He's going to drop those Archons on that right side. The roaches are still there. But look at this. The Zealots Doing pretty okay against the Zerglings. The Archon's going to try to join up as the Oracle's running on the south side. There are only 2 queens. The other queen's trying to be rebuilt right now. This queen pops out, though, into a dangerous spot. Roaches are building. Roach speed's being done. Where the heck are the roaches, guys? There's 18 of them. How are none of them up on this 4th base yet? It's because the Archon keeps redropping the main base, and MAXPAX is losing thousands upon thousands of resources. That's an 1800 resource lost advantage for a MAXPAX, who's now going double Robo Immortal Storm into Roach Hydra, which is a checkmate composition. Oh no, Shin may have 80 drones, but if he does not drop either like an infestation bit, maybe a Spire, I think it's too late for Spire. He has to go infestation. He's got an infestation. He's got an infestation. If he cancels Overlord speed and goes Hive, he's in a good spot, because that's a quick Hive. But the problem is he's going Overlord speed, so are we teching Hive or not? What, the infestation bit is worthless if you're going to be going for a mass drop, and it looks like he wants to go Roach Hydra drop. But double Immortal production is such a counter to this style. MAXPAX sitting on 3 base playing very safe, and I think Shin just doesn't even know that there's no 4th. I don't think he even realized. In his mind, there's a 4th, there's cannons and batteries building, there's Stalkers, there's Storms, Divas in his ear going, we need more minerals, we... just, you know, gets his testosterone up, makes him play better. To each his own. Many players would say it's a clear handicap having Divas screeching in your ears. But Shin knows better. Zealot's cleaned up well on both sides. Prism is ready to go Zealot drop the north. No Overlords on these edges to see these coming. Oh man, that drop in the main could be a real problem. He's going to go mass drop down south. You can see the Overlords are morphing. This army, how do you ever deal with the ball of Immortal Storm? I do not know. Storm on a few of those Roaches. Archon Zealots there. The Roaches just run forward and click on the High Templar. Shin clicking with his dingle dangle. Roach Hydra down south tries to cancel the 4th base. Up in the main though, Zealots in the main, and that's a real problem. He's had to send half of his army home. Movement for the Hydras isn't quite there yet, the upgrade. He does react pretty well, but this also buys time, and now MAXPAX knows, okay, you are just building Roach Hydra. Your Hive has only just started in front of my Zealot drop, so I know your Hive tech's miles away, and he's going to try and branch out. That could be a big mistake though. Roaches and Hydras will drop in the main. Now, Hydras and Lings, I think, are better drop units than Roaches. Problem with Roaches is they get stuck behind the buildings. They only have 4 range. They don't do enough damage to really do crucial damage while your opponent's scrambling to defend. Roaches are an annoying unit to drop, but they are not actually that effective. He's going to go for the big surround instead. Mass fake drop goes into MAXPAX's main base. At the same time, the Roach Hydra comes in from 2 or 3 sides. Stasis traps helping out. The storms are massive. But the stasis traps actually kind of save some of the Zerg units from the storms, funnily enough, but it also takes the tempo away. He was looking for the big surrounding engage. He does take out another one of these Archons. The Roach Hydra, though, getting gunned down by the Immortals. You can see almost 3,000 resource loss difference between the two. And the Zealot Archon counter up north already finds 7 more drones. Roach Hydra, a bit of a geriatric composition. It's a bit meaty, a bit slow. It can't get on top of the Immortal Archon Storm. Oh my lord! The Immortal Archon Storm is devastating Shin! And this was an excellent change-up of build choice for MAXPAX. He waits for Game 7, goes charge, and shuts him down. The expansion location for Shin on the 4th is disastrous against that. Look at the distance he has to travel against this earlier push, guys. Look at the distance. When that Prism comes in, it goes in his main. He's got to go here, and then he's like, oh, now you're going to redrop my 4th. He's got to run down around here all the way up to this 4th. Oh, I think this was a better 4th base on this side, guys. Even though it looks like that one's actually closer to my 3rd. Yeah, but the problem is, with this one, if he picks up and drops past, you just move from here to here. Super easy. It's already annoying moving from this 3rd base back up to the main, but when you add all this extra distance as well, you need to have enough units to defend both angles with slow Roaches, slow Queens. This is the perfect pressure. We saw Serral struggle with Hero doing this over in China earlier in the year. The Zealot Archon just kept running in, sniping hatcheries, killing drones. Even when Serral had like 20 Roaches and 7 Queens, which shuts down the Zealot Archon. The Zealot Archon's like, nah, I'm over here. Now I'm over here. Now I'm killing drones, and the Roaches are just kind of chasing after them, going, get back here, please fight us. And MAXPAX did such a good job of seeing the Roaches, drops the second Robo, makes the Size Storm, and just chills at home. He was also killing Zerglings in the middle of it. This was beautiful play for MAXPAX and really well done. I think Shin was struggling really hard with his openings. I do think Shin struggled a bit, obviously, because his range is limited. I do think that's the big limiting factor for Shin in a big best-of-7 series. This sort of, the bigger the series gets, the harder for him, because it's just, I just think he needs another build or two if he's going to be winning finals against Protoss players. If he's got to play best of 5s and best of 7s, I think his like percentage win chance goes down massively. In a best of 3, Shin's really scary. Best of 5s, best of 7s, it goes down because players, you got to beat them with the same sort of timing so many times in a row. It's difficult to do. And I'd say in general, if he had a little bit more range in this matchup, it would do really well for him. But I understand it's hard to get out from under the thumb of the Adepts, the Oracles, and then the Blink Stalkers, keeping you just stuck in your corner, feeling like you have to play Hydraling Bane or you have to play Roach Hydra every game. So hats off to Shin for playing a really good series, takes MAXPAX to the final game. This was a barn burner. Appreciate you a lot, Shin. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.